Showers of blessings, everyone. Welcome to Living Single and Satisfied, where we encourage singles to enjoy their life one day at a time. So today I want to share with you something that I heard a very powerful woman say. She said, you have to dig deeper if you want to go higher. You have to dig deeper if you want to go higher. What's growing at the root? And it made me think about, my past relationships and even my current relationship, and sometimes we think about, why didn't they work out? Why are they not working out? And we oftentimes wonder why. And sometimes relationships didn't work out or are not working out because our past relationship experiences have caused the wrong things to grow inside of us, the wrong attitude, the wrong behavior. And it made me think about, do I really want to go higher? And if so, I have to dig deeper and figure out what's growing at the root. And so we're going to really focus on 3 issues, and it may not be your issue, but I know it's something that I've dealt with and something, I'm going to be real, something that I'm currently dealing with and I'm currently working on. We're just going to tackle these issues. Being cheated on, having trust issues, having insecurity issues, having abandonment issues. These are things that may cause our current relationships or our past relationships not to work out. And if we want to go higher in our relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's marriages, or whether it's courtships, if we really want to go higher, then we have to dig deeper and realize what's growing at the root. And again, these may not be your issues, but whatever your issues were, whatever your issues are, if they were not dealt with, if you did not take care of them, then they took root inside of you and they grew. And then again, you may have even tried to tackle some of these issues, but you realize that some of these issues may still exist, to a certain degree. And it's causing your relationships not to work. What you have to do, dig deeper than what you have before. If you want to go higher, dig deeper and realize what's actually growing at the root, at the basis. What's the base problem of these issues? And again, another thing I realized, it's never too late to deal with them. If you want to go higher, just dig deeper. You still have time. You're still alive. Your relationships are still going on, or you still have the possibility of being in another relationship. So again, it's never too late to deal with those issues. All we have to do is just dig deeper and check what's growing at the root. And so in this video, we're going to focus on 3 things: recognize, resolve, and realize. So remember those 3 words: recognize, resolve, and realize. And we're going to correlate all of this to what's growing at the root. What's growing at the root that's causing these relationships not to work out. And when I thought about the root, I wanted to do a little more research on it to get more clarity on a root. What is it? What causes it to grow, and what is the basis of it growing? So when I looked it up, it says a root is the organ of a plant, and it typically grows below the surface, but it also grows above the surface. So again, we're going to talk about the root. We're going to talk about the root problems of the issues that we may be having, and realize that if we want to go higher, we have to dig deeper. So again, remember 3 words: recognize, resolve, and realize. So earlier on my Facebook page, I posted a quote that came to mind this morning. It says, most people don't realize that their past is affecting their present until it's impacting someone or something they really love or value. That person that they love or that something that they value may be hurting, or it's causing them not to attain a certain thing. And then that's when people really step back and realize that, hey, that issue from my past is still occurring, is still coming up, and is affecting, my present. So what can I do about it? If you want to go higher in their relationship, if you want their relationship to work out, and you realize that your past is causing your present to be impacted, then check what's at the root. And that's how I'm going to correlate everything to the topic that I heard that wise woman say. If you want to go higher, dig deeper and check out what's growing at the root. So again, the first thing, recognize the problem and its causes. And a lot of times, in order for us to recognize the problem that we're having in relationships and the causes, we have to examine ourselves. And I know a lot of people may not want to examine themselves, and it's taboo, but you really have to examine yourself if you want your relationship to improve, or if you want your future relationships to have a better chance of working out. You know, examine yourself. What are your issues? Are they trust issues? Are they insecurity issues? Are they abandonment issues? Whatever it is, you know, recognize it, realize what caused it, and realize what the root problem is. And then, so thinking about that, you know, we want to think about a root and what causes a root to grow. So when I look this up, it says, in order for a root to grow, this is the process. First, a seed has to be planted. And then when the seed is planted, it's watered and it grows. And then after it grows, it eventually forms an anchor, which is the origin of the plant. So again, a seed is planted, it's watered, a root forms and becomes the anchor of what finally produces a plant. So thinking about those things, thinking about the fact that you've recognized what your problem is, how does it correlate to a seed? I mean, how does it correlate to a root? So let's say your problem is the trust issue. A lot of times when it comes to trust issues, the first seed that was planted is when you were cheated on for the first time. The first time you were cheated on, it planted a seed inside your heart, inside your life, inside of you, inside your feelings. And eventually, if it wasn't taken care of, if it continuously happened, then that seed was watered. And eventually that seed formed a root after being watered. So even with insecurity issues, the seed that was planted, you may have been placed second to somebody. And if that's the seed that was planted, the first time you were placed second to somebody, a seed was planted. With abandonment issues, the first time somebody dumped you, a seed was planted inside of you. Those seeds were being watered and roots were forming. How does a seed grow? It has to be watered. When you've been cheated on and you accepted somebody back over and over again and they continuously cheated on you, that first seed is being watered and those trust issues started to form. You continuously allow somebody to place you second to this person and that person and this person and that person. Then eventually that seed was being watered. If you seem like you were always the one being left in relationships or dumped in relationships, that seed of abandonment, it was being watered over and over. And eventually it took root. A root started to form. And from that root, a plant was formed. And what plant am I talking about? That plant became your attitude. That plant became your actions. When you think about a person who has trust issues, when they are continuously cheated on over and over again, and that seed is watered and their root form, eventually that person will form a bad attitude. Eventually that person will start accusing that innocent person of cheating or always suspecting them of cheating. When insecurities occur, when that seed is planted, when that seed is watered, over time that root form, the plant that forms is that person's attitude. They are always acting out in doubt. They're always feeling like they're not good enough for the person that they're with. That seed of insecurity was planted and watered and not dealt with. And now it has taken form in that person's actions. And that actions is affecting that relationship or has affected those past relationships and caused them not to work out. And abandonment, you're constantly walking in fear, wondering, is this person going to leave me? Does this person think I'm good enough for them? And if not, then will they eventually leave? That seed of abandonment was watered. Obviously, it wasn't dealt with. And now it has taken root in that person's heart, in that person's mind. And now it is displaying in their actions, which is the plant that was formed from that seed. And when this happens, You have to tackle the situation. You have to tackle those insecurity issues. You have to tackle those trust issues. You have to tackle those abandonment issues, or whatever your issue is. You have to tackle it if you want to go higher, if you want your relationship to work, if you want your relationship to start working again, or your relationships to eventually work out. You have to recognize what that problem is. Recognize the root cause of that problem. It may be hard, but you have to examine yourself. You have to realize what first caused that problem and how it formed and how it continuously grew in your life, and then tackle it. You have to do that if you want to go to the next level. Again, you may have thought you have tackled this problem, but now it seems like you're in a new relationship and these same issues are occurring. Now it's time to dig deeper and realize what caused the root of that problem and how did it continuously grow. You have to dig deeper if you want to go higher. I cannot stress that enough. If you want those relationships to work out, you have to dig deeper than what you have before. Cut those bad roots off and move forward. So let's say you've recognized the problem, you recognize the causes, and you want to do something about it. Now you've made up in your mind that you want to resolve the issue. And that's the second thing. You've recognized the problem. Now you've made up in your mind that you genuinely want to resolve the issue. And notice I said genuinely. Now you have to be real about, I'm serious. You have to be real about this thing. If you really want your relationships to work, if you really want that current relationship to work, you have to say, hey, look, I'm tired of my relationships not working out. I'm tired of my relationship having the same problem over and over. Now I'm ready to resolve the issue. How do you do it? So when I researched this issue, it says you have to start the regrowth process. What's the regrowth process? The first thing is you have to determine that the plant can be saved. Then you have to treat it immediately. You have to cut away the bad roots and replant the good roots that are left in healthy soil. So let's talk about that. Determine that the plant can be saved. You've recognized the problem. You've made in your mind that you want to resolve the issue. Now you have to restart you have to start the regrowth process in your relationship. So what is that? You have to determine that that relationship can be saved. You have to determine that those issues can really be resolved, and you have to identify the good roots that are left. Treat it immediately. Don't allow things to linger. Don't say, I'm just not going to deal with this right now. Once you realize what's causing your relationships not to work, you treat that immediately. You tackle that immediately. You determine that it can be saved, and you tackle those issues immediately. And what does that entail? That entails you breaking up that fallow ground, breaking up that hard heart, soften your heart, dig up those bad roots, save those good roots, and replant them in good soil. So let's correlate that to your relationship. So you've recognized that you have the problem. You want to resolve it. You're ready to tackle it. You're ready to start the regrowth process. So now, once you say, hey, I really want to resolve these issues, you soften your heart. You open your heart up to actually deal with those issues and heal from those issues. And how do you do that? For me, it was through prayer. It's through fasting. It's through asking God to restore you in those issued areas. If it's a trust issue, you unharden your heart. You ask God, please restore me in this trust issue area. Please restore me so that I can be secure again. Please restore me so I won't have these abandonment issues. So that's the start of the regrowth process. You have softened your heart. You're asking God to restore you in those areas. You're praying, you're fasting, and you're meditating. Now you really want to start this regrowth process, and you're ready to tackle it immediately. Now you have to uproot those bad roots and cut them away. Those trust issues, cut them away. Those abandonment issues, cut them away. Those insecurity issues, cut them away, and save those good roots that are still left. Normally, when you have trust issues, or whatever issue you may have, there's still an inkling of hope there. There's still even if it's just one root, there's still one root of trust there. There's still one root of security there. There's still one root that doesn't contain abandonment, doubt. So you recognize that one root, you save that one root, and you replant just that one root and start the regrowth process. Cut away those unhealthy roots. Replant that one healthy root in good soil. Water it and fertilize it properly, and then healthy roots will start growing again, and then it will produce a new plant. So let's talk about that. Replant that healthy root. You have that one healthy root left. That one inkling of faith or trust that you still have, you take that one root, you plant that in that new soil. What is that new soil? That new soil is your mindset. That new soil is your heart. You plant that one root in that new mindset with that determination that you want to resolve this issue. And then you water that one root. Once it's in that new soil, you water that one root. What do you water that root with? You water that root with perseverance. You water that root with determination. You water that root with reassurance that, hey, I'm going to heal and I'm going to resolve this one issue. Perseverance. Water it with perseverance. You stay at it. It won't be an overnight process. It won't be an easy process. But you persevere at it. You go at it. Tackle it over and over. Be determined to resolve that issue. Every day, you purpose in your mind that you're going to resolve this issue of trust, that you're no longer going to have this trust issue. You're no longer going to have this insecurity issue. You're no longer going to have this abandonment issue or whatever your issue is. You just be determined to get rid of it. And why? Because you want your relationships to work. You want that current relationship to work. You want that future relationship to work. So now you're determined. You've watered that one healthy root in that new mindset, in that new heart, and now you have to fertilize it. Fertilize it with what? Fertilize it with faith. You have to believe that you can get past that issue. I know that issue is deep. I know that root grew to a lot. That seed grew to a lot of roots, but you have to have faith that you can get past it. And if you stay at it, I promise you, you will get past that trust issue, that insecurity issue, that abandonment issue, and it can be done. So again, you've recognized that issue. You have resolved in your mind, you have made up in your mind that you're going to resolve this issue. And the third thing, you have to realize, this is very important. You have to realize that it will not be an easy process, but it can be done. You have to be realistic about this thing. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be easy. So realize that and accept the fact that it won't be an easy process. But if you stay at it, if you persevere at it, if you be determined, and if you fertilize it with faith, then realize that it can be done. That's very important. And again, you have to dig deeper if you want to go higher. I realized this in my current relationship. If he would come on video and tell you that, hey, this chick still has these past issues, if he could come on video and tell you, he would. And when I realized that, I realized that, hey, I want to go higher in these relationships. I really, really need to realize what the root cause of it. And so I recognized what my root causes are. I resolved in my mind that, hey, I want to heal from these issues. And then I had to realize that, hey, it won't be an easy process, but it can be done. And just like I had to do those things, you have to do those same things too. You have to really dig deeper if you want to go higher, whether it's in your relationships or in your friendships or in your marriage. If you really want those things to work out or have a better chance of working out, you have to tackle those causes, tackle those problems, realize what the root causes are, and then find ways to resolve those issues. Recognize, resolve, and realize. And I promise you, if you do those three things with your issues, then everything will be all right. You can get over those trust issues. You can get over those insecurity issues. You can get over those abandonment issues. But the thing is, you must dig deeper if you want to go higher. And you have to realize what's growing at the root. Watch your attitude change. Watch your actions change in relationships. You'll no longer have those trust issues. you no longer have those abandonment issues or insecurity issues. And then even if you find yourself going back to that place, you'll be at the point where you'll get your mindset right and say, hey, I need to snap back. So just as long as you tackle those issues, you'll be okay. But again, the main thing is, if you want to go higher, you have to dig deeper. You have to realize what's growing at the root. So again, I hope this video has helped you. I hope it causes you to examine yourself and realize what those issues are that are still lingering. You recognize them, you resolve them, and you realize that it won't be an easy process, but it's empowerment, motivation, inspiration, and most importantly, healing. We want you to heal, and the only way to heal is to dig deeper and recognize the root problems. I hope this video has helped you. I hope you want to share this video so it can help someone else. And again, as we always say, thanks for watching our videos, and may you continue to enjoy your life one day at a time.